Atten and Kreia look a little bit too comfortably close together there. Hello, people of the internet. This is Shaky Jake, and I really need a catchphrase. You're watching Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords, where previously on KotOR 2, we finished off with the Telos military base and we made our way to this strange snowy landscape where we were ambushed by several HK-50 droids. Not the first time that's happened in this game, but it seems to be a bit of a recurring theme based on this game's plot. And I must apologise for the delay this episode has had, because it's been 3 months since I last played Knights of the Old Republic 2. I'm pretty sure that's the longest gap I've ever had recording any game on this channel so far. Didn't intend it to be 3 months, only intended it to be about 1 or 2, but it ended up being 3 months. And why has the music stopped? If I pause the game, I bet it will come back. Or, you know, pause and unpause and it will come back. Okay, so this was a part I was meant to record effectively 2 months ago, and it was going to be the sort of mid-series filler where it would be the end of the first sort of act of the game, and then I'd take a break from it for a bit and then move on to the second act in January. But instead I'm attaching this to the next set of recordings because I can, and because I took a break and various other things. So let's move on. We're in this very strange snowy landscape, still on Telos, but we're in this strange snowy land, this winter wonderland as it were. And talking of winter, Happy New Year to all of you. It's been a couple of days, so it's a little bit belated, to be honest, why I'm saying Happy New Year now, but hopefully 2019 has some good stuff in store for everyone, and that it's not a disappointing year. At the moment I'm just uncovering the map because OCD is telling me to, even though there's really no point. I did always like this module though. I always felt that it was one of the more underrated locations in the game, and it's a shame you don't see it very often because it's a unique landscape for the Knights of the Old Republic games to adopt. So there we go, that's the map uncovered. Let's go and see how Bayo'Dor's doing. Oh, he doesn't look in too great of a shape. Let's have a look. So he was knocked unconscious by the explosion. If you can find refuge, you should recover in time. Yeah, there's the music stopping again. There must be something glitched up with this area. So apparently we're just going to leave Bayo'Dor to freeze out here. You know, catch frostbite or something, or hypothermia. Apparently it doesn't matter because he's Bayo'Dor. He's not Atten or Kreia, so we don't really care about him. So we need to find shelter. Conveniently, there's shelter here. And the music stopped again. There's something wrong with this area. Okay, 2 mysterious women in white. This looks a little bit odd, but okay.
Lay down your weapons, and you shall not be harmed.
Why did that door not make any sound effects whatsoever? Okay, but who are you?
I will not warn you again. Drop your weapons, or we shall take them from you.
Do as they say. I sense people come to no harm.
I only asked them who they were. Bloody hell. No one disarms me.
The loss of your weapons shall be a temporary thing only, and it is necessary. There is much to be gained here without violence.
Okay, Mom. Very well. I did not come here to do battle.
Why is it that everywhere we go, I end up in a cell? I mean, why did they lock us up? What is this place?
It is a training ground for Jedi.
Recurring
What?
gags.
This ice hole?
Yes, it bears the semblance of an academy. But where are all the students? Curious.
You've got to be joking. What is a Jedi Academy doing out here in the middle of nowhere?
It is a place hidden from the galaxy like the academy on Dantooine. But this place... Oh, Atris, you have been clever.
Atris?
It's none of your concern.
Well, the sooner we're out of here, the better. 2 crazy Jedi are more than enough for me. No one told me we were going to be dumped in a nest of Jedi.
And what is it about this place that causes you such fear?
What do you mean? We're in the middle of a bunch of Jedi. You know how they are.
No, I do not. Not in the way you seem to.
What? What are you doing? Get out of my head!
Stop struggling. Let me follow the current. Deeper to its source.
Stop! Stop! Ah!
Ah, with the fear is mingled guilt. It squirms in you like a worm. And the why? Ah, and there is its heart. You surprise me. I could not feel it before. Your feelings are a powerful shield indeed. Do not worry, Atten. If he is a Jedi, he will forgive. And if he is not, he will not care.
You can't tell him, please. I'm asking you. I don't want him to...
Think less of you. I hardly think that's possible. Still, there is no shame in what you ask. We all wage war with the past, and it leaves its scars. I will not speak of yours, Atten, but there is a price for such things.
What? What price?
There are those who wage war and those who follow them. You are a crude thing, murderer, but you have your uses. You know how important this man we travel with is. Even one such as you can feel it. You will serve him until I release you.
And if I refuse?
You will not. If you do, then my silence will be broken. And then, Atten, you will be broken. You fear the Jedi, and rightly so. If Atris learns of your choices, you will never leave this place. But whatever fear you hold of the Jedi, know that if you disobey me, that my punishment will make you beg for the death that has long hounded you. Wipe the fear from your mind. You will not find blind obedience a difficult master. You chose it once. You will learn to embrace it again.
I don't know how you became such a manipulative witch, but why a vicious old scowl like yourself would even bother with me is a bigger mystery.
No game of Dejaric can be won without pawns, and this may prove to be a very long game. You are a slippery one. Your thoughts difficult for even one such as I to read. I suspect the self-loathing that squirms within you gives you a curious strength. Your spirit, as diseased as it is, refuses to allow you to give up, no matter what threats you face and whatever wreckage you leave behind you. I feel you have crossed our path for a reason. Perhaps even you, at the right moment, may be able to turn aside disaster. If so, your potential is not yet spent.
Fine. I'll be your pawn. But I still think you've got the wrong man.
Perhaps. But someone has to fly the ship, and the Force is a hard thing to predict. You have crossed our path for a reason. Our path brought us here for a reason, and now I know why. The past is here, and it must be met before the future can be set in motion.
More Jedi speak. Care to explain?
No. I've wasted enough time with you. Sleep, murderer, and be silent. I need no distractions. A critical moment approaches.
Here we go. This is one of my favourite sequences in the game, by the way. It makes all of the previous stuff on Telos worth it. Especially with this music that's been dubbed back in thanks to the restored content mod.
I did not expect to see you again after the day of your sentencing. I thought you had taken the exile's path, wandering the galaxy. Yet you have returned. Why?
It's the plot Obsidian wrote for me. Tell me what you've done with my friends first.
Your concern is noted. Your friends have not been harmed. They have been detained for their safety. I find it unusual that you are travelling with others again. I had thought you had forsaken the company of others after the war. Or is that why you are here?
It was not my intention to come here, Atris. We'll see you again.
Yet here you are. Perhaps you do not know yourself as well as you think. Regardless, your arrival here begs an explanation. Have you come to face the judgment of the Council, as you did so many years ago? Are you finally willing to admit that we were right to cast you out?
There's so many good dialogue options here. Refresh my memory. Why did the Council cast me out?
Why? Because you turned your back on us. And the Order. You followed Revan to war against the Mandalorians. The very war that made Revan a Lord of the Sith, and ruined you.
I could not stand by and allow innocents to die in the Outer Rim.
So you said, so long ago. I didn't believe it then, and I don't believe it now. You sought adventure. You hungered for battle. You could not wait to follow Revan to war. The Jedi Order asked only for time to examine the Mandalorian threat. They urged caution, patience, and you defied them. So when you returned, you were brought before us. You were a Jedi no longer, and so you were exiled.
I also recall you wished me imprisoned, or worse.
There was much about that day that was difficult to forget. Your words, your defiance, and when you stabbed your lightsaber into the center stone. I had kept it, so I would never forget.
Kept it? Stole it, you mean?
I have always kept it, as a reminder of what can happen when your passions dictate your actions. I have kept it, so I would never forget your arrogance or your insult to the Order.
Insult to the Order? You insult me by carrying it.
Then you misunderstand its meaning while it is in my possession, and what it now represents. But I am not unsympathetic to your feelings. Leaving the Order must have been difficult for you. Yet you gave the Council no other choice. You gave me no other choice.
I had no other choice but to go to war.
Life is filled with choices, and when you are forced to make one, you have the Jedi teachings to guide you.
I went to war to protect others, not for battle.
So your choice was to meet the aggression of the Mandalorians with more aggression. That is not the Jedi way.
And the Council's way was to meet aggression with surrender. I'll take my choice any day.
Every choice we make, whether we know it or not, sends echoes through the Force. It can awaken feelings, ignite passions, hate, anger, fear, where none existed before. By meeting aggression, by serving as an opponent against which the Mandalorians could test themselves, you fed their hate, their lust for war, and it sent a terrible echo through you. And because of it, you and those Jedi who met them on the battlefield lost their way, and you turned on us.
Were you not tempted to help the innocent?
Of course I was. But the Jedi teachings require we examine how we may best help them. Action without reflection is not our way.
So you were content to let the Outer Rim die, for the sake of teachings?
There was no guarantee that marching to war would have saved the Outer Rim. In fact, quite the opposite.
Have you been reading the history of the blind? Revan won the war.
A physical victory perhaps, but the real victory lay in...
The triumph of pacifism? Surrender?
Do not twist my words. A physical victory is not the only victory, or the only loss.
If we had not acted, thousands of worlds would have been pillaged and burned of life.
You do not know...
If the Mandalorians had won, would the Jedi have fought then? Or simply have meditated on what to do?
How dare you? The Mandalorian Wars should have been your grave, and Malachor 5 is where you should have died.
At last it comes out. Was it always this personal with you?
You see shadows where there are none, and hate where there is none. You are blind, as always. I tire of fighting with you. You lust for war, and you always will, and you have succeeded in distracting me from my questions. So answer me. If you cannot seem to admit the Council was correct, then why are you here?
Again, Obsidian told me I had to come here. I'm here because a pretentious shutter stole my ship.
Your ship? Ah, the Ebon Hawk. It is not your ship. Unless you're admitting to the destruction of the Paragus mining facility.
I wonder how long it took Atris to become a bitch. Was it through natural instincts, or did she have to practice at it? Paragus? I've never heard of it.
You will drown in lies before the day is done, it seems. Your admission is irrelevant. The guilt is thick on you. You have not changed. Acting instead of thinking, putting yourself before the galaxy, before the Jedi. Do you know what you have done?
Why don't you tell me?
Without the fuel from Peragus, Citadel Station cannot maintain its orbit. It will crash into the planet and its destruction will echo across 20 other worlds.
Why is Telos so important?
Telos was a test to see if the Republic could mount a restoration effort on the Outer Rim. When it fails, the Republic will not finance another. The other Rim worlds, devastated by the Sith, will remain graveyard worlds, devoid of life. And that is the magnitude of your crime.
It's almost as bad as the Jedi letting the Outer Rim die during the Mandalorian Wars.
So you still hold to your flawed convictions. If you think to anger me, you are wrong. How is it that you are not content to confine your ruin to yourself? You must spread it to others wherever you go. Ruin yourself with your actions if you will. But when your actions bring harm to others, then you must answer for it.
Peragus was nothing compared to what I'll do to you if you don't give me back my ship.
The ship and your freedom is no longer yours. You and your ship will be detained here pending an investigation and a trial.
And who made you the law? Not after you become one with the Force, you won't.
It was too much to hope that you may have come here to finally admit the Council was right.
So now I get blamed for the actions of the Sith.
The Sith? What do you mean?
The Sith have returned, and they are hunting all Jedi.
You speak truly. You have encountered the Sith. I can feel the scars on you. Tell me, where did you encounter them?
If you seized my ship, you'd know I was at Peragus, and so were they.
Peragus? What would they want there? They can't have been looking for you.
They didn't realise I'd left the Jedi behind.
If you were the best target they could find, the teachings of the dark side blind the Sith indeed. I am the last Jedi, not you. You betrayed our teachings, our beliefs, the very core of the Jedi Order. If these Sith attacked you, they will soon realize their mistake. And if you escaped, they most likely let you go to see if you would lead them here.
They're stronger than you think. At least one Sith Lord stands with them, and they fight differently than the Sith from the Jedi Civil War.
Whatever force they can bring to bear, it will matter not. If they face a true Jedi, they shall fall.
Your grasp of tactics is questionable.
We shall see. For now, the perspective on your situation has changed. I have your ship. I will return it to you. You must leave here before you place us in jeopardy.
Just give me my ship, and I will depart.
Take your ship, then. I don't care where you go, just leave this place. Leave Telos.
We shall remove him, mistress.
I've been wanting to leave Telos for absolutely ages, that's fine with me.
Come with us.
No doubt I'll get a couple of dark side points for this.
Are you all right, mistress?
The exile brought up feelings best left forgotten.
Forgive me, mistress, but I must ask. The exile, I've never seen another affect you so strongly. Did you care for him once?
The Jedi have no such attachments. As always, he will do as he wills. And the galaxy, and the feelings of others, can burn for all he cares. The day we judged him, I stood in the chamber and he was so right. He was so certain of it, I doubted myself. He chose Revan over the Jedi, over the Council, over... But now I am tired. I must meditate.
Of course, mistress. I will tell the others you are not to be disturbed. And please, do not exhaust yourself. We can attend to matters here.
I don't know, walking over that bridge looked pretty exhausting, actually. Just seems overly long. Bye, Atris. How did we not get dark side points during that? How odd. Ooh, cutscene time.
I have felt it too, my lord. A disturbance in the Force. It was difficult to make out, my lord. At first it was such a quiet thing. I did not notice it, but now I wonder as if it has always been there. I merely could not hear it before. The sound built so slowly, yet when you listen for it, you can make out the strains, even over the background life of the universe. Do you feel it is a... You are the darkness in which all life dies, my lord. All life exists to feed your power. And my life is yours. I beg you, please, let me die. Yes, this disturbance echoes through the Force. I can follow it to its source and bring it to you. I will leave at once, my lord.
I was not expecting that cutscene to come up then, but I will explain why that particular cutscene played when it did. The idea behind that particular cutscene is, depending on what alignment you are heading towards, if you are 75% into that alignment, whether it's light side or dark side, that cutscene will trigger, and you will see it as and when you either light-sided or dark-sided enough. I think if you're neutral, it sort of triggers by the time you're level 15. I think. I could be wrong because I've never actually tested it. But essentially, because we got so many light side points, we triggered the cutscene, and vice versa if we were dark-sided and had the same sort of alignment, but on the opposite side, the cutscene would also trigger. And one thing I liked about that cutscene is how in the original release Obsidian just rendered it as a very low poly cutscene, basically with the cutscene engine, and it didn't look too amazing. It was really low quality, even by this engine's standards. It was abysmal quality. And then the restored content mod, or somebody else who teamed up with them, remastered that entire cutscene and remade it from scratch, and it looks fantastic now. And some of the cutscenes have had that treatment, which I'm pleased to notice. It's actually been using the proper game engine as opposed to the cutscene part of the engine. But those two characters are important characters within the plot. One of them will become very important to us later on. And I've been able to trigger that cutscene as early as the Telos Citadel station, bizarrely, with the restored content mod. It's very odd, but I actually quite like that it triggered here because it adds some sort of thematic quality to the discussion we just had with Atris, and also the fact that we just had a very big confrontation with Atris and then that triggers. I felt that it was appropriate timing. So, we need to go and rescue our friends, but before we do that, let's talk to one of these weird-looking handmaidens.
Why have you approached me?
You're an NPC, I'm allowed to. I'm searching for my friends.
You will find them in the main irrigation channel room, in the northern part of the plateau interior. The particle emitters there that once governed the flow of water to Telos can double as force cages.
So they are prisoners?
They were caged for their safety, until we could determine your intent, exile. Atris cautioned us against your tactics, fearing that your allies would create a distraction. Your companions gave us little trouble, however. The male could have presented some challenge if he had resisted, but he chose not to.
I think he was bricking the fact he was going to be put in another force cage again. No offence to Atom, but I think you're mistaken.
You are the one who is mistaken. It requires you know what to look for. He has had some Echani training. He masks it well, but when you are in danger, his mask dropped into a stance we know well.
Where would he have gotten that training?
I do not know. The Echani forms are known to be taught to military special forces throughout the galaxy. If the source is a mystery to you, perhaps you should ask him. It would be wise to know those you travel with.
Don't remind me how dialogue tree RPGs work. Where's the Ebon Hawk?
Your ship is stored in the hangar. Atris has given you permission to leave this place and not to return.
Oh yeah, like I'd really want to come back here for another lecture. I'm looking for a fight.
I would welcome a chance to instruct you. I have been anxious to teach you many principles of combat ever since you invaded this place.
Teaching?
Oh yes. We train extensively in various combat styles, and we have not had another target for some time. You may prove a pleasant diversion.
Maybe another time. I'll be going now. The reason we can pick a fight with the handmaiden's sister here is because it leads on to another sort of side quest. I'm going to try and do that at some point, even though I suspect I'm going to have a very difficult time with it because I haven't exactly been speccing my character up strength-wise. But yeah, can we get our weapons back? Oh, we can. Cool. I just gotta remember which gun I was carrying because it's been so long since I played this. A whole 3 months. According to my Steam library and according to the last time I uploaded a part for this. Was this the gun I had? No, that was definitely not the gun I had. I have legitimately forgotten which gun I had. I know it was a blaster rifle. Blaster rifle. Blaster. Oh, was it the iron combine? It was either this or this. Ah, it was this. Cool. Right. So, let's explore this place. We can't go back outside, so for all we know, Baodor might still be dying of hypothermia out there. Or maybe he was brought in as well. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he was, though. I don't think these people here are that heartless. So let's pick some stuff up because we can loot. It's amazing how Atris wants us to get out, but we're still here basically stealing from them. But yeah, here we go. Nice hologram here. Oh, I don't want to go this way yet because that leads to the exit. And this is where we want to go.
Did you find what you came for?
That depends. What was I supposed to find here?
There was something from your past here, something unresolved. I feel we did not come to this place by chance. You were led here. This woman who resides here, she did something to you once, something that hangs upon you still.
Well, I wouldn't exactly call her charming.
Whatever her charm, or lack thereof, you must deal with it. Unresolved events from our past can create wounds in the present and the future. And more importantly, they can distract you, weaken you. It could prove fatal against the enemies we face.
She was one of the council who cast me out of the order and wanted to punish me even further.
I see it now. The act has left its marks. Be warned. Unresolved events from our past can create wounds in the present and the future. And more importantly, they can distract you, weaken you. It could prove fatal against the enemies we face.
Well, she isn't exactly charming. The woman here is a Jedi, Atris, one of the council.
There is a Jedi here, perhaps, in that you are correct. Yet there are no students, and this woman, this Atris, surrounds herself with those who cannot feel the Force. Curious.
Yeah, it's a little bit odd, isn't it? Those who cannot feel the Force?
Yes, her servants are not Jedi. Their minds are walls trained to resist tricks of the mind. This discipline blinds them to the Force as well, even if they were Force-sensitive.
How do you know that? Were you reading their minds?
Invade the mind of another? It is not something done carelessly, or when there is nothing to be gained.
Atris plans to heal the galaxy, then rebuild the Order.
Plans are fragile things, and life often dashes expectations to the ground. Perhaps students will come to her in time. For now, she is surrounded by those who cannot feel the Force.
Well, there's nothing to be gained talking here.
Very well. Let us depart.
Is Atton okay? He looks out cold.
He's only sleeping. It seems the journey here has fatigued him.
He can sleep on the ship. Let's go.
I am sorry, General. I must have lost consciousness in the crash.
That's because of the party member limit. We couldn't exactly have all 4 of us, could we? There is nothing to apologise for. Are you sure you're okay?
I'm fine, General. Even power has been restored to my arm. What is this place? Where are we?
A Jedi Academy, concealed on the northern pole of Telos.
This must be where I had detected the energy readings before, and the drain to the restoration shields. This room, this place, it looks part of a huge polar irrigation system, possibly planet-wide, like the one on Coruscant. I had been told by the Republic that it was not in use.
Bloody hell, that first option's a bit harsh. I'm glad he's excited about it, though. Are you well enough to travel?
I am, General. If you wish, I may travel with you, or join you at the ship.
I never have KotOR with me here, so meet me at the ship and prep it for launch. We're leaving as soon as we can, and you can make a good start on those repairs while you're there.
Very well, General. I will await your arrival.
That's the idea. And we've got Atton and Kreia with us, which is what I want.
Mistress, you summoned me.
I have a task for you. The exile is dangerous. I'm concerned that he was able to return to Republic space and reach Telos without my knowledge.
Mistress, the Harbinger was lost in transit. It was our failing.
What is done. But now I need you to travel with him.
Mistress,
I realize what I'm asking of you, and I am asking that you keep your purpose a secret, even from your sisters. I need someone to watch the exile closely, and let me know if he contacts the Sith. More importantly, I need you to study him closely. I need to know what he thinks, what he does. Become part of his group. Earn his trust. Get him to confide in you.
I will do as you ask, Mistress.
Ooh, ominous.
But, Mistress, the exile did not seem to pose a threat to us.
Ah, but he does. Do not be fooled by the exterior. It is his nature you must beware. He fell to the dark side once. He will do so again. I am trusting you with this task, last of my handmaidens. Do not disappoint me. The galaxy, the Jedi, may depend on it.
And we got some light side points and regained influence with KotOR, which is perfect. And we've got our party members back, which is beautiful. So I'm going to loot a little bit more, and then we're going to have some fights with some handmaidens, because we can. And it will give us some good experience and possibly more. I think if you try and talk to them again, Atton has a comment, so let's just try that.
Why have you approached me?
Hey, do all these women look alike? Not like I'm complaining, I mean, it's interesting.
They are Ichani. It is not unusual for their children to share similar features from the same parents.
If you have a reason for approaching me, speak it.
Isn't that genetics, Kreia? Anyway, never mind. We'll talk to you later. One thing about Atris that's quite interesting is how her name is essentially an anagram of Taris. You know, the planet from the first Knights of the Old Republic game. Although it's not so much of an anagram as such as it's just 2 letters switched around. But I don't know if that was intentional or not. But I just thought I'd throw that out there whilst I'm walking around looting the academy here. I do... Oh, bit interesting how they had a dark Jedi Knight robe in there. So much for this place being purely light-sided. Hint, hint. So yeah, we're getting some good stuff here. Just, you know, stuff we can either use or sell later on. Actually, let's check on Atton a second, because he's actually pretty light-sided now. He's pretty close to us. Now, the sisters said something about him being a Chani trained, and I don't know why the game's telling me about that again. There's nothing on here that suggests he has a Chani training. Nothing at all. Now I'm sure that's just to preserve the twist, but it's a bit odd.
Yes.
That he doesn't have any Achani related feats if he was truly trained in that. I think we've uncovered most of the map as well. Pretty sure we have. I'll check in a moment once I've been in this last room. I've always liked this location in the game though. It's my favourite part of Telos. Which is, you know, saying something considering I'm not the biggest fan of the planet. Yeah, we've uncovered the vast majority of the map. It's just this top area when we're going to leave, but we'll deal with that later. Now, who's this sprightly young thing here who had a conversation with Atris? But to my knowledge, not the character's knowledge.
You are the exile. The one Atris warned us about.
And what did Atris say?
She said, you betrayed the Jedi by going to war when it was forbidden to you. You turned on your masters, your teachings, and yourself.
She's just teasing you. I'm really not a bad guy.
That is not all she says. She says you know nothing of loyalty to any cause except your own animal instincts. And she told us why you fell to the dark side.
I don't walk the path of the dark side.
Atris says that you fell to the dark side in the Mandalorian Wars when you gave in to your lust for battle. Once you tasted war, you could not give it up.
I love how these handmaidens talk about, you know, battle being a thing that leads to the dark side, but they're pretty violent in themselves. So why didn't I keep fighting in the Jedi Civil War?
Atris says when the Dark Lord Revan returned to the Republic, you did not march with him because you had fallen so far you could no longer feel the Force.
Interesting, because that's not what Kreia told me. At least I don't think that's what Kreia told me. Anything else?
I believe that is the extent of her expressed feelings toward you. There are variations at times, but all rise from the same foundation.
If you haven't noticed, this is a very dialogue-heavy part, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this 2 or 3 months ago as opposed to now, at the beginning of the year. Express feelings?
Yes, it is difficult sometimes for others to truly speak their heart or listen to it. The words often prove difficult, or they do not come at all.
Oh, now for the cheesy lines. What do you think Atris's heart says?
Without having seen you and Atris fight, I cannot say. Battle is a pure form of expression. It is heart and discipline, reduced to movement and motion.
If I fought Atris, then that might make the truth come out.
Perhaps. It may prove truer than conversing with words. In battle, the words are swept away, giving way to actions. Mercy, sacrifice, anger, fear. These are pure moments of expression.
I'd like to ask you something.
You may ask.
You look different than the other women here.
I honor the face of my mother. It is not something spoken of in the company of others.
So you have a different mother, but the same father?
I do not wish to discuss it. If there is something else you wish to ask, you may do so.
I apologise. I meant no offence.
There's no need to apologize. You were merely remarking on something that you saw. There is no wrong in that.
Although, to be honest, you all look pretty similar anyway, so I'm not quite sure how my character would have noticed. But anyway, is it a sensitive subject?
It is not a sensitive subject, but a subject that requires trust. There is no such trust between you and I, and such trust takes time.
Yeah, it's called the influence mechanic. Let me ask you something else then.
You may ask.
Why does Atris allow me to walk freely? I could kill you all easily.
I am aware of this. I do not doubt your combat prowess, as my half-sisters do. There are many who went to war against the Mandalorians, and few returned. You were one of them.
Remember that if you seek to challenge me.
I will, Exile. In truth, I do wish to challenge you.
Alright, calm down. What? Why?
The Ichani believe you cannot truly know the heart of another unless you meet them in battle. I would very much like to know your nature. But now is not the time. Perhaps my sisters could challenge you, but not I. And not here.
Never mind, I'll be going now.
Before you go, Exile, question for you, if I may ask it. You have touched the Force. What does it feel like?
I haven't literally touched the Force. It's not something you can really touch. I only know what its loss feels like.
Then tell me of its absence.
Imagine awakening and finding all of your senses blinded.
It is standing atop the summit of a great mountain, the winds tearing about you, then finding yourself buried alive, trapped, helpless, and alone. It is like having the energy of youth, then feeling the cloak of years fall upon you, and knowing you are weak, fragile, and a thing easily discarded. It is knowing what you want to say and never finding the words. It is a chorus replaced with silence, hearing teachings without meaning. It is like a beloved pupil to whom you have shared everything, sacrificed everything, and then having them turn from you and forget all you were.
I see. Thank you both. I appreciate you sharing your knowledge with me.
Bloody hell, I'm a little bit depressed listening to all that now. I don't normally go for the whole I only know what its loss feels like dialogue option. I usually go for the it's a difficult thing to describe. And honestly, having gone for this option, I kind of regret it now because I feel really down listening to all of that. If you have any further questions in the future, seek me out and ask them. Oh yeah, we actually did get dark side points for some of that. Not surprised. So I think, we're pretty much the same. It doesn't really matter. So, because we've talked to this handmaiden here, she is going to be a party member very soon. If you're a male exile, you will always get her. If you're a female exile, you won't. Unless if you download mods, in which case I have. So the alternative character that you could get if you didn't get the handmaiden, who is the disciple, I'm actually going to end up getting him in this playthrough as well as the handmaiden thanks to mods, because both of these characters have a lot of significance. At least to me, I feel they both add a lot to the plot, and it's a shame that Obsidian decided to lock each of them behind a gender specific exile, but we'll get into that conversation when I have both characters. So what I'm going to do for the rest of this part now, assuming I can do it, is I'm going to pick a fight with the handmaiden sisters and I'm going to see if I can beat them. Although, what's my strength's at 10. I don't think this is possible unless if I lower the difficulty, which I am actually tempted to do because I'm that much of a coward. Although, actually I can increase strength a little bit. Actually I can increase it quite a bit. Right, anything that increases my attack, basically, I need. Okay, that's a little bit worrying. No, we'll keep the gloves then. Okay, I'm going to make a save and then we'll try this out.
You have returned. Why?
I could use a good sparring match.
Very well. Follow me, and we shall see if you have the endurance to learn the most basic of our teachings.
I really don't.
Before we begin, are you familiar with Ichani traditions?
Does it have anything to do with why you wanted me to disrobe?
All duels between us shall be without armor of any kind. There shall be no restrictions upon our movements or upon yours. Your feet are not to leave the training mat during the battle. If they do, you will lose. Also, this is not a fight to the death. Restrain your instincts when we fight, and we shall do the same.
Look, lady, I've disrobed. You clearly haven't. I feel there's a little bit of a divide here. But whatever. I understand. Stay on the mat, no armor, no striking to kill.
The fight will be with hands and feet only. No stimulants, shields, weapons, or other items. Also, do not call upon any Jedi techniques during our contest. If you do, then the battle will be over. in turn. I will not use our higher forms, for this is only an opening battle between us, a test of each other's strength.
If you're ready, so am I.
Then let us begin.
I'm gonna get destroyed, aren't I? Oh, what's the difficulty on? Difficult. Yeah, I'm gonna get destroyed. Alright, let's see how this goes. Oh, we actually got a hit off, that's good. Yep, she's beating me, I think. Yep, we're definitely gonna lose. Come on, get loads of good damage hits off. I do like how the unarmed combat looks in this game though, it's a huge improvement over the first game. I've never tried an unarmed build incidentally, and we lost.
You have fallen.
Well, obviously. Let me heal up and I'll be ready to fight again.
Seek one of us out when you wish to fight, and we shall honor your request.
Oh yeah, you have no choice. Kreia,
Say the word.
heal me. Actually, it doesn't matter, I can heal me because I'm not using the force for this anyway. Right, even if you have a high strength for this, you will struggle to an extent. So I'm actually going to lower the difficulty down just a notch, just to see if I can do it. I don't really want to put it on easy, but I will if I have to. I think what you really need... Why is the game telling me how to do stuff again? I already know how to do this. One thing with this game... See, I got my strength at 12 because of, you know, items and stuff. So that should be pretty good. And also having a pretty good constitution should help. The dexterity should help with the dodge chance. So realistically, if you've built well enough in the first 3 stats, or any of the first 3 stats, you should be okay. But whatever, let's try this again. Skipping all the dialogue because I've heard it before. Right, let's try this again on the normal difficulty. And yeah, we've missed. That's a great start. There are 2 instances of this particular gameplay mechanic. It crops up again later on in the game. And they're both opportunities for you to get more experience points and whatever else that the game offers you. Come on, me. We can do this. We can do this. I'm not even going to bother with critical strike or power attack or anything, or flurry. Yes, there we go.
You have succeeded. If you wish, you may challenge us again, and we will progress to more advanced movements.
Well, like walking and talking and whatever else. Let me heal up then. There's a couple of stages to this, and you can either... I think one of them allows you to use weapons, I think. Let's see what you have to say now.
Have you returned to fight again?
That's why I'm here.
Very well. I shall honor your request. Our next battle will be using the higher forms among the Ichani. You may choose hands and feet, or whatever melee weapon you wish, but use no other items or Jedi techniques.
I'm happy with that arrangement, let's go.
Then let us begin.
Granted, I do actually need a sword. What are my feats actually? Because it's been so long since I played this. I actually haven't upgraded the combat feats, so it doesn't actually matter. But I'll use my Vibra sword here. I hope that's the best sword I have. Oh my god, I just stabbed her through the chest. And I stabbed her through the chest again. And she just tanked that as if it was nothing. And she's actually doing better with an arm than I'm doing with a sword. Come on! Hit! Hit! I may have actually been doing better without weapons. Bloody hell, my exile's obsessed with stabbing handmaidens in the chest. What the... Did she really just take 44 hit points off me? Yeah, we're done. Oh no, we're still alive. No, we're dead. Fine.
You have fallen.
Yeah, because you got a lucky 44 hit points off on me.
Seek one.
Yeah, whatever. I honestly can't believe that just happened. I legitimately can't believe that she got 44 hit points off. Have I got a better sword? No, I actually do not have a better sword. Although Oh, the Gamorrean Cleaver would be useful if I actually had a stun chance. Let me try that. It looks ridiculous, but let's just try it. If I get a stun chance off on this, I'll be so happy. Yeah, missing every hit isn't a good idea. Come on, there we go. This can take a while depending on how well you've built your Exile, and because my Exile hasn't been built in combat particularly, he's going to struggle. Regardless of what my attributes are. Oh, come on. I think I'm doing worse this time than the last time. Get a stun chance. Oh, that was a good hit. But it doesn't matter because I failed again.
You have fallen.
Okay, desperate times call for desperate measures. I'm putting it on easy. I don't care if this makes me a noob. I'm doing it for the sake of my sanity. And we'll do this with the Gamorrean Cleaver. Oh, you still missed even on the easiest difficulty? Really? Although, thankfully, she's not hitting as often, so that helps. And I'm allowed to do this. It's my Let's Play. And I also played the first game on the impossible difficulty without changing it, so leave me alone. I usually change the difficulty for these kind of parts anyway, because I feel like it's brutal if you try and do it on difficult. Come on. Come on. There we go.
You have succeeded. If you wish, you may challenge us again, and we will progress to more advanced movements.
Right, so that's the next bit done. I think for this next one we can use the Force. So I'm going to wait for my Force to refill up a little bit before we do the next one. I'm actually going to put the difficulty back on normal. I feel a tad guilty putting it on easy now I think about it, but yeah, let's do that. When we return to normal gameplay, we'll be going back to difficult though, I promise you that. It is a bit odd how this game has difficulties that you can adjust on the fly. It's not like a forced set difficulty like most games. Okay, I think that's enough.
Have you returned to fight again?
That's the only reason I'm here.
Very well. I shall honor your request. Our next battle shall be free of restriction on weapons and items, and you may use whatever technique, Jedi or otherwise, you wish to attempt to defeat me. In turn, I will spare none of our forms against you.
Now you're talking, let's go.
Then let us begin.
I'm just going to be cheap about this and use Force Lightning on you. Oh no, I don't have Force Lightning, do I? Crap. I forgot about that. Force Scream it is then. Oh wow, really? Oh, if I had Force Lightning, this would be so much easier. I've definitely built my character in the worst possible way.
This will teach you.
Okay, back on easy. Oh, I am so cheap about this. It's not even stunning anybody.
You know much of melee combat. You surprise me.
I really don't.
There is nothing more that we can teach you from such contests. Such battle would only be for battle's sake.
Then feel free to pair up.
If that is what you wish, then we shall honor it. We shall see how you fight against a group of us. We shall take you in a pair, using everything at our disposal. Use whatever item, weapon, or Jedi technique you wish. We shall match it.
Does that include shields? I can't remember. I have actually forgotten if that includes shields. Because if I can use shields, then I'll be able to tank this so much easier. I'm actually going to try and put a shield on and see if it will allow me to do it. I think the Achani shield is the appropriate one here. Right, if I use a shield, does it ban me? It doesn't. Awesome. Right, now that I've got that, let's put the difficulty back on normal and see how this goes. Yeah, missing is not ideal, game. And they're doing a significant amount of damage. Force heal. Yeah, putting the difficulty back to easy again. This is terrible. And hopefully they can't take me down enough to... Oh, they are going to take me down, fine.
You have fallen.
I am so terrible at this because I haven't built my Exile very well for combat. Particularly with swords,
Yes.
because I'm trying to go for the whole, you know, gunslinger build. Which I haven't even been focusing on ever since I started playing this game. I need to start focusing on that. Okay, I'm switching swords because this isn't even stunning. So I need my Vibra sword, which is really good. I was never a big fan of this mini game. Oh, shield. Put that on, put that on. How are they better with unarmed combat than I am with a sword? Come on. I'm too scared to throw a grenade because it will just hurt the sword. Oh, they're kicking my ass. Let's start using flurry because they're unarmed. Okay, medpack time because I'm not banned from that apparently.
This will teach you. This will teach you.
Come on, me. Okay, I need to use another med pack. This is the cheap way of doing it. Might be the only time I ever use med packs in the game. Or one of the few times I'll always use med packs.
This will teach you.
Oh yeah, all of these handmaidens have the same dialogue, including the handmaiden who later joins your party. Oh, I'm gonna die to this, seriously? Come on. Stop missing. Thank you.
You are a strong opponent. Atris was correct about you. You know much of war and battle. Perhaps too much.
I could take all of you without breaking a sweat. I really can't, but okay.
One does not sweat in the polar regions of Telos, so all that will break will be your pride.
One does not simply sweat in Telos. Let me catch my breath and I'll be back. And by that I mean, let me heal up.
I hear you.
What is it?
Because this is this next battle, which is also the final one, can be very annoying because you have to take out all of the handmaidens. Yeah, this is when I could have done with investing actual force powers. Handmaiden. Oh, and you can tell which is which because one says handmaiden, the other one says handmaiden sister. But notice how they all look the same, even though supposedly the handmaiden looks different from her handmaiden sisters. A bit odd. I think the only subtle difference they might have is how their hair looks. I don't know.
One does not sweat in the
One does not simply sweat in the polar regions of Telos. Care to back up those words?
Then our last battle shall be the 5 of us against you. Use any item, any weapon, any technique you wish. You'll need them.
Thank you for that. Why not all 6 of you?
There is no need for the last of us to join in this fight. The weakest among us will only serve to diminish our techniques. We fight as one when we are 5, not 6. And that number should be enough for this lesson.
You done talking or are you going to fight?
Very well. We shall begin.
Thank you for letting me use everything. That will make my life 10 times easier. And we're definitely not going to normal or anything. We're going to be struggling on easy, to be honest. Let's put the shield on. And yeah, normally what you can do, if you got Force Whirlwind, you can actually use that to your advantage and knock them out that way. Unfortunately, I don't have Force Whirlwind, so I'm going to have to be creative about this. Can I? Actually, you know what? Let's use my guns. I haven't used those in a while. Which is my best gun? What's my best gun? Sonic. That has a good attack modifier. Ah, stun chance, right. Anything with stun chance is always good. So the first thing I'm going to do is run all the way over here. and shoot them. Oh, this really isn't going well. Can I throw a grenade? This is going to be a silly idea, but let me try it.
This will teach you.
Oh wow, yeah, this is not a great idea. Oh, this isn't a good idea. Why did I agree to this? I've never used so many advanced med packs in my life. Heal me. Why are you not healing? Yeah, I deserve that loss.
We knew you were no match for us. Yet you decided you would try anyway. Our battle is done. There is nothing more that we can learn from you.
Wait, is that the only chance I get?
We knew you were no...
Oh, it is as well. Oh, should have made a save. I'll be right back. Hey, walk-in handmaiden glitch. That works for me. If that could happen with the actual 5 handmaiden battle fight, that would be good. I've also found a good strategy of just alternating between flurry and critical strike seems to work quite well. I don't know if that's just a bit, you know, coincidental or if that's an actual strategy, but it seems to work. I've learnt from my mistakes. I've made a save. Now let me put the shield on and then hope I actually do okay. Yeah, this definitely isn't going to go well. Right, first thing I want to do... Actually, I know how to cheat this out. Use stims. I never used them, so here's a good time to use them. Dexterity plus 6. And then... yes. Oh, okay, I've got to wait a minute. Okay, now use it. I really do apologise to you all watching for the fact that I can, you know, I'm cheapening this out as much as possible. Don't walk off the mat. Come on. Okay, there we go, there we go. Right, I hope now that's enough. There we go, that's what I like to see. Although being punched and kicked repeatedly isn't my idea of fun. Right, I'm definitely using the life support pack here. Desperate times.
This will teach you.
Okay, that's one of them down. That's a good sign. So advanced med pack again. It's a shame I can't knock any of them out, because that would be good. This is so tense. And I'm cheapening this on the easiest difficulty setting because I spec'd my character up in such a poor way. Because I usually have higher strength than this.
This will teach you.
Okay, 3 more to go. 3 more. Okay, I need to heal desperately. And then I need to put a shield on desperately. Okay, the walking glitch has happened. Good. I can deal with that. I can't deal with these misses though. Wait a minute. When did the third one go? Did she walk out by accident? She must have walked off by accident. I can't think when I knocked the other one out. Okay, she's gone. Just you to deal with.
This will teach you.
I apologise so much for cheapening this. I'm going to put the difficulty back to normal now we're dealing with just one. Please don't knock me out. Okay. I'm going to actually use another med pack just in case. There we go. Done.
There shall be no more matches, no more challenges. There is much we have learned from you. If we meet on the field of battle, we shall be prepared.
Yeah, I doubt we're ever going to meet again. And we got 750 experience points for that, which is good because it means we've leveled up. So let's do that. Leveling up. Don't get any feats unfortunately, but I do get skills. I actually really need the feats because I need to start building my gunslinger character. I'm going to put all of these points into repair because I do need repair. And powers, we get 1 this time. I'm going to put it into force redirection because that will give us an opportunity to better deflect gunfire. There we go. Do they say anything else?
There shall be no more.
Okay, they don't. Fine. So I'm going to put my clothes back on, and then we're going to leave this place because we're done. Yeah, this is what I was wearing before. So I want my gun back, or guns. I just want a regular gun for now. So I'm going to have. Yeah, we'll have the modified holdout blaster. It looks cool. It's a bit dainty, but it looks cool. Okay, let's go. Let's leave this place forever because we don't want to be here anymore. We need to get the Ebon Hawk back because we haven't seen it in quite a while. And that reminds me, I still need to download that texture mod to make the Ebon Hawk look good. I still haven't done that for some reason. At least from what I can remember, I don't think I have. So let's see. Am I... Oh, Aten's with me. Where's Kreia? Kreia, where are you? I hate it when the party members get stuck on the environment. Kreia, come on. Crazy old lady. What are you doing? Getting stuck on things. Non-existent models. Oh, cool thing about this hologram, you can walk through it. Look at that. So cool. Never gets old. T3M4! Hey man, missed you.
Well, if it isn't the one who stole the Ebon Hawk. Not so smug now, are you, you little thief?
Don't be a fool. Atris stole the ship and the droid.
Says you.
No, Cray is actually correct. That is what happened. Look, ignore Aten, T3. You're awesome. T3, are you alright? It wasn't your fault they took the ship, T3. I'm being genuine when I say that as well. I love T3 in this game. I'd say this even as a dark-sided character. I like to think the Exile's always attached to droids. Hold on. What information are you talking about? Why would she want what's in your memory core? You can fill me in later. Let me get you out of there first. We'll see you at the Ebon Hawk. See you later, T3. I might change his skin, actually. I don't know if I want to have him look like R2-D2 for the rest of the game. And we gained influence and light side points for that, which is good because I want T3 to like us. Because I don't like an unhappy T3. I'm a softie when it comes to T3M4. And there we go, we can now leave Telos. We've got our crew back together. So now we're going to head on the Ebon Hawk. And we're going to leave this place forever once we've looted one more cylinder. Got a nice energy shield from that, so that was actually worth it. And I'm going to make a save here just in case anything goes wrong, but I doubt it will. Let's board the Ebon Hawk and let's get out of this admittedly nice looking place. A little bit grey, but the only colours that seem to exist in Knights of the Old Republic 2 are grey and brown and any other variant along those lines. Yes, let's enter the Ebon Hawk.
Mistress, the last of the handmaidens is not among us.
She has left with the exile.
Left?
But why? Her oath.
I sent her to travel with the exile. She may discover something I cannot.
Mistress, the last of the handmaidens, she is willful, and she has demonstrated her fascination with Jedi. It may not have been why.
I know what I have done, but it was necessary.
Yeah, the script writers told me I must do this.
Well, now that we're off that Dejaric board of a planet, I say we burn sky until we see lines.
I agree with that. Hate Telos. Or at least 2/3 of Telos. What's with T3? What are you talking about? You downloaded Atris's archives.
What is the machine saying?
I've just told you that, Kreia. I'm repeating what T3 is saying. He said there was a holo record of my trial in Atris's records.
We seem to have found it.
Well, technically T3 found it, but whatever. Yeah, I think having my lightsaber ignited isn't a bit hostile. Calm down.
Do you know why we have called you here?
I came because I chose to, not because you summoned me.
As Revan summoned you, so have you come full circle to return to the Jedi.
Why did you defy us? The Jedi are guardians of the peace, and have been for centuries. This call to war undermines all that we have worked for.
Is Revan your master now? Or is it the horror you wrought at Malachor that has caused you to see the truth at last?
Look, I just wanted to grow a moustache exactly like that and I couldn't do it. So I grew a beard and I feel a bit jealous and whatever. The truth is that the Mandalorians had to be stopped or countless more would have died.
You refuse to hear us. You have shut us out. And so have shut yourself to the galaxy.
We feel that your true understanding of what happened at Malachor 5 will only happen in time, and it cannot happen here, near the battlegrounds where you fought.
You are exiled, and you are a Jedi no longer.
There is one last thing. Your lightsaber. Surrender it to us.
Oh, Master Vrook, nice to see you again. And what kind of a trial was that? That barely took any time up. They were like, yeah, we're just going to banish you, we're not going to waste our time. That was the worst type of disciplinary hearing I've ever seen.
Much defiance in that one.
You are correct, KotOR. When he was here, I felt it. It was as if he was not there, more like an echo.
Revan's influence has grown amongst the youngest of the Order. He speaks to their passions, not their sense. The war has touched them. Many of them have found themselves in the war against the Mandalorians.
It is as I feared, and I fear that we have played into the hands of the enemy.
We have not lost a Jedi this day. You felt it. He has lost himself. He is no Jedi. He walked Revan's path, but he was not strong enough.
I fear it is our teachings that may have led Revan to choose the path he did.
We are not the ones who taught him.
We take responsibility, Atris, not cast blame.
The choice of one was the choice of us all. Revan's teacher intended no harm, and Revan had many teachers since.
Yet they all stem from the same source. Her teachings violated the Jedi Code and lead all who listen to the dark side, as they did the exile.
You are wrong. The dark side is not what I sensed in the exile. Surely the rest of you felt it as well. That emptiness we felt. He has changed.
Whatever that wound was, it was of the dark side. We should not have let him depart. He will simply join Revan again, or perhaps worse.
What would you have done with him, Atris? Be mindful of your feelings. This is not Revan who stood before you. This one walks a different path.
No, although that may come in time. We let him go because we must. Where he travels, he carries his destination with him.
Malachor 5 should have been his grave. You saw it in his walk, and in the Force. It was as if he was already dead.
No, not death. Many battles remain for that one. if what we have seen is true. But the future is a shifting thing, and he cuts like a blade through it.
We should have told him the truth. A Jedi deserves to know.
No good would have come from it, even if what you believe was true. There is still the matter of Revan, and such truths could leave us vulnerable on two fronts.
Perhaps in many years, we will call him before us and explain what happened to him, and how he may be healed. Until then, he must accept his journey.
But he may never discover the truth, and he will never know why we cast him out.
And that is the future we must accept.
Those Jedi sure like their secrets, don't they?
Those last few moments after my trial, I had no idea. If you find anything else, let me know. Atris has a list of all the missing Jedi. Sure, display it. We don't actually know the others yet. So there's Master Vrook, who is in the first Knights of the Old Republic game. Master Zez Kyle, who has the cool moustache. Master Kavar. And Master Vash. And Master Atris. The bitch. Notice how it told you where they're currently at right now. Because all those planets you saw, we're going to head to all of them very soon. Those Jedi were all on the council that exiled me.
A strange coincidence.
It is no coincidence. There is some larger plan at work here, and we are walking into it. This is too convenient to be anything but a trap.
We have no choice. Those Jedi know what happened to me.
Those are Atris's records you have stolen.
What the hell are you doing on our ship?
I have come to join you. I can help you against this threat.
Well, we don't want your help. Or any of your sisters.
If it comforts you to believe that, then so be it. But the enemies you face are many, and you will need all the help you can get. It is just me, and I am doing this because Atris believes you will need help.
Well, that's nice of Atris. I will take whatever help I can get.
Indeed. But of course, what does one more matter to our journey? I have had enough of this. I will be in my chambers.
Yeah, me too. I'll be in my chambers. But since I don't have any, I guess I'll just go to the cockpit like I always do. If she's coming with us, she gets the cargo hold. Might remind her how fun it is to get locked up.
General.
The cargo hold is enough. I assure you, there is little I need. I will attend to myself.
Look, forget Atom. Take the regular quarters. We have enough room.
It is no matter. I am used to worse conditions, but thank you for your kindness.
So the Handmaiden has joined my party. She has a Chani defense and is an excellent unarmed fighter, although I've never actually used her unarmed, so maybe this time I will actually give it a try. And we're going to have a whole bunch of cutscenes now.
General, is there a reason you don't carry a lightsaber anymore?
I keep telling you, it's the Obsidian scriptwriters. They keep insisting this on me. Atris and the Jedi Council took it from me. Didn't you watch the holo recording?
That's not your lightsaber anymore. That belonged to someone who served Revan in the wars, not the person you are now. You could build another one, if you wanted to, but you know that.
Yeah, but I don't want to have a lightsaber. I'm a gunslinger. I refuse to use a lightsaber in this run. I don't want anything of the Jedi, and I'm not afraid of building a new lightsaber if that's what you think.
I never said you were, but whatever the reason, you should put it behind you. I know this. A lightsaber is part of who you are. Without it, you're not complete.
Dude, I'm a gunslinger. I don't want a lightsaber. But we have to do this quest regardless. Very well. To begin, there are some parts I'll need.
I think I can help you out there. I happen to know the parts you need.
How convenient. Since when did you become an expert on lightsabers?
I spent a lot of time around Jedi during the war. None of them would let me take their lightsaber apart, but I did learn about their construction. We need a power cell, emitter matrix, lens and focusing crystal. Though I have to admit the crystal is beyond my means. Never did understand them. Those parts are fairly common, though a Jedi once told me that it's best if your lightsaber reflects you. and if it is constructed of things that identify it as your own. Just bring the parts to me before you get started building it. I'll make sure they're usable.
For the last time, no.
Don't even know what the context is, but it's still funny.
Because you're programmed to force your opponent to go first, and nothing will convince me the computer doesn't cheat.
Pazak. Good meta commentary on how annoying Pazak was in the first game.
Even if I didn't have to go first and somehow I didn't suspect you of counting cards, I still wouldn't play with a trash compactor.
Atom, that's racist. He's a beautiful trash compactor.
Yeah? How many credits?
All I'm saying is that you've gone for a long time without a memory wipe. Most droids behave erratically under those circumstances. I know that, but I'm fixing everything else around here, so I may as well take a look at you too. What was that? That's what I'm talking about. That is not normal droid behavior.
Maybe he's just worried about your skills.
If it wasn't for me, we'd all be floating in space. I think I can handle a few repairs to your circuits.
Bayador, it's only been a day since you joined us. You haven't been here that long. But yeah, that sounds like a good idea to me.
Good. Now let's get started. You wouldn't guess it from the outside, but it looks like you've been through a lot.
Well, yeah, I downloaded a mod that made him look like R2-D2. He looks a lot better than he normally would in this game.
I'll bet. I'm all done with you. If anything comes loose, let me know and I'll put it back in place.
Okay, thanks to Bayador, T3 has now become even more durable. We can't leave the Ebon Hawk again because we're in transit. So before I finish off with this very long part, the reason why so many cutscenes played in one go then was because the way Obsidian decided to handle all of the conversations with the party members in this game, they decided to make them trigger every single time you go back inside the Ebon Hawk. And because we haven't been in the Ebon Hawk for so long, it automatically plays, you know, those 2 or 3 cutscenes that we just saw. When we keep going back and forth between the planets and the Ebon Hawk, it won't be as much of a big deal because they'll actually play a lot more naturally. The way it played out then, it was a little bit forced and a little bit unnatural because it's supposed to indicate time passing, but it doesn't really do it very well at that point. I'm going to leave it there for now, and we'll look at what planets we can visit next time on Knights of the Old Republic 2, because this is the end of Act 1 of Knights of the Old Republic 2. And we're moving on to Act 2 next time, which is my favourite act in this game. And it's where the game finally gets interesting, if I'm going to be harsh about it. Because the first act can be quite tedious, it can be quite slow. There are times when it feels really dull. But once you get to this stage of the game, the whole galaxy opens up for you and it becomes really fun. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.